Same bat time, same bat channel. So if you could throw that transition in there, that would be hilarious. You know, the Adam West.
Yeah.
Anyway. And welcome back to the Botcast. I'm your host, the Frankster, and I'm here with my good buddy,
the Arrow, DJ Hart.
And we are your source for all kinds of Transformers, Earth Wars news and topics. And sometimes we have special guests, although not this week. We're riding just the two of us this week.
Yep.
So nice shout out to, what are you doing?
I'm trying to showcase my name.
Oh, well, your hands are disappearing.
There we go. Here, see? All right. There we go. All right.
Your hands are disappearing into the background, and I'm like, what is he doing? It looked like...
and now back to our regularly scheduled program.
We have an awesome episode for you this week, though. We're going to discuss about bases and how you should develop them. It was a question that was asked in the mailbag last week, and it was such a big question that we had to devote a whole topic to it to be able to explain it properly. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be exciting. But before we get into that, it is time for the weekly recap. So, DJ, how was the past week for you in the game?
What was the event?
It was the Proving, I think. It was individual. I know that. I'm
trying to remember right. Name. Okay. Yeah. It's the 20,000. Yeah. It was fine. Yeah. It was fine. Nice relaxing event. Just used the bots that I'm leveling. Didn't really get a whole lot in the way of points. I think I did get a 3-star combat bot, or maybe that was the weekend before. Not bad. I mean, it was... Overall, though, it was fine. You know, decent rewards, opportunity to grind out some extra XP for your bots, relax, chill, especially after a big leaderboard. So yeah, it was a good event. You know, we did okay.
It was pretty nice. It was a fantastic weekend for me. So the little party thing up there.
There you go.
Because Sea Spray 5-star. Yes, and I disappeared.
Yep. I'm not going to lie. When I was watching your crystal cracking, and I just knew you were going to get, like, somebody else. I was sitting there, he's going to get Bumblebee. He's going to get Bumblebee. Watch him get Bumblebee. And then it was...
I would have been okay with Bumblebee. The only one I really didn't want was Rook, and that's not because Rook isn't amazing. It's because I had just gotten his 4-star.
Right.
And I'm one of them people, it's like I want to have the 4-star for a while to level it up and get use out of it before I'm replacing them with the 5-star.
Right.
It's just, I don't know, it's just how I am. I'm like, I'd rather develop them in some kind of decent progression. Yeah. But yeah, Sea Spray, he was the main one I wanted. Impactor and Swoop would have been awesome too. Bumblebee wouldn't have complained, but as you can see, I've been hard at work on him this week. Yeah. He's level 51, ability 10, a 20 max G-Metal volatile mixture.
Yeah.
He's ready for this weekend, and my day one event video this weekend is going to definitely showcase Sea Spray and the new squad I built around him. I built an all-gunner squad. Just because I was like, you know what? I've been saying I'm not a gunner guy. I want to try to get into gunners. Just build a whole squad with nothing but gunners and 2 medics to keep them healed because their health is their weakness.
I can't wait to see that. But more than that, I can't wait to hear Wozza's take on that. So, Wozza, if you're watching, watch Frankie's day one update of the upcoming weekend event. He airs it on Friday. And watch this gunner squad. I want to get your thoughts on this because I've seen what it looks like. It's all gunners with 2
and
medics.
they're not only Sea Spray and Jazz are like really high leveled, and then of course Wheeljack, one of my medics. But the other gunners, because I haven't put much love into my gunners, and I've only recently gotten most of them, like within the past year. And without putting much love into them, they're like mid 40s level wise.
Right.
But I figured Sea Spray's strong enough that he can carry the team and get XP for all the gunners, and I can build them all up using Sea Spray in this team. So I'm excited. It'll either work or I won't like it. We'll see. Going to give it a whole weekend to see, but
yeah,
I'm excited. So definitely check out my day one video. Should be up probably sometime around this episode of the podcast, maybe a little after it. So definitely check that out, please. Everybody out there, Wozza, everybody, give me your feedback on what you think about my experiment. And so pretty cool. But yeah, love the 20K individual event. That
super
was
easy.
Extremely nice.
Yep,
love
chill.
Those. I hope all individual events stay around there. That's pretty nice.
I don't mind them going up to 30K with as long as the last 10K are like you've already got the prizes that matter, and from 20 to 30 is just like total shard crystals.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because that gives you a little something extra to do if you really want to, but you don't feel compelled to like, oh, I got to get this, you know?
What those do for me is I get to that last prize at 20K, crack all the crystals, do the crystal cracking, whatever bots I get, use the rest of that room to level.
Yeah.
That's why I like you said, the everything after 20K is total spark. I do like those. So.
Yeah, they're okay. As long as they don't make it as something that's like, oh, now I have to grind for this, you know?
Yeah.
The 20K with the top prize that you care about being at 20K, that's perfect.
Yep. All right. Well, that was a pretty solid week recap. Individual events don't have a lot to talk about. So, but let's go ahead and let you do what it is that you do, DJ.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I will do what it is I do. And what I do is the news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in the news, and this upcoming weekend event is called The Assembly. I hated assemblies in high school. There's like, you know, all students to gymnasium for assembly, and I'm like, for what? And it was always for nothing.
Sometimes the pep rally.
Yeah, sometimes, but I'm sitting there like, not impressed, you know? I just wasn't. Some of them were just downright, I felt like it was a punishment.
Yeah.
So, anyway, back on topic. This upcoming weekend event is called The Assembly, and it is going to be an Alliance Totalizer up to 500,000 points. Oh, they changed it. It was in a preliminary release of the email, and I didn't read through this thoroughly. It was going to be 1 million points.
Yeah, it's this week's is 500,000, and I think next week's is the 1 million point event.
Okay, so yeah, that's perfect. We had the leaderboard event, then we had a nice chillax 20,000K event, and now we're just doing a 500,000, easy to complete for a lot of intermediate to upper tier alliances. So yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Alrighty, Super XP, as has been the norm, normal battle zones, and here are how the prizes will break down. You'll have the opportunity for 3-star shards, 4-star shards, combat shards, premium combat ships, that is, and then, of course, Spark, and lots of it. The final prize is going to be a G-Metal Power Core chip. So, good luck to everybody. Alrighty, so some upcoming game information. We got War Season 2, Cybertron Hard Mode, Prime League, and Prime League Hard Mode. So you can pause this to read through all that if you'd like. The 4-star Titan part will become available for 30,000 4-star shards as of this email. So for those of you who've been waiting for your chance to get that, start saving those 4-star shards because it's going to be expensive. Alrighty, we have bios for our new combat bots, Zor and Slugfest. So you can pause this and read through those if you like. There's both of them on screen for you right now. And then they are making a tweak to the game concerning bots that have perceived electrical damage. And they did touch on this aspect of it in the live stream today. So there will be a link to the live stream in the description below. You click on that when you're done watching the botcast, and they will elaborate on this a little bit more. Our new bots have been showcased. We're going to get Minerva and, what's his name? Flatline. They are medics. Our first new medics in a couple of years.
Very awesome. I mean, if any class needed more representation, it was medics.
It was, but their hesitation was that you would just put 4 medics out there and they'd be just keeping this one bot alive and nobody would be able to kill it and it just wouldn't be fair. That was their concern. But I guess with some recent updates to the game and some things that have come out, it's become less of a concern. So we have...
Yeah, but imagine this, though. 4 medics and Cheetor.
Yeah, that would not be fair at all. And then you arm him with one of the healing, stripes, the healing combat bot.
That's just wrong.
And then, of course, you've got Amalgamous Prime on him, which heals him for damage, and his own ability heals him for damage done. That's messed up.
The defense would have to kill the medics, or they just get wrecked. And honestly, by the time they killed the medics, they would already be wrecked.
Pretty much. Because he wrecks even without medics most of the time, so...
Yeah, yes, he does.
Yeah. Now, no word. Now, they did get showcased in today's live stream. We saw them transform, and they look really good. No word yet on what their abilities will be. We'll have to wait and see what news comes about in the coming weeks. But rumor has it that it will not be a healing ability. It may be something different. And that's what would make these 2 medics stand apart. Content creators. If you guys did not see episode 18 of the Botcast, we had our very own SunStreaker Wozza as a guest, a surprise guest. It was not announced. And we talked about kind of different points of views from, the guys who are at the top of the mountain and are warring in Prime League hard, to guys that are more intermediate, to guys that are somewhere in the middle. So from his perspective, scoring 300 points every single war, that's his motivation, and that's what he kind of gears his teams, and that's how he plays the game. And more power to him. When you're top of the mountain, you got to do something to keep yourself occupied. Whereas me and the Frankster, our primary focus is grinding the events, getting the rewards, getting the prizes out of the rewards, and leveling our bots, seeing the progression. So it's different for every player. Every guy likes to play the game differently, and every guy has different, priorities in the game. So that was the subject of discussion with Wozza, and me and him touched on that a little bit too in his live stream later on, where I was a guest, and I will put a link to that video in the description below as well. So thank you, Wozza, for being on the show last week. Look forward to having you again soon.
Absolutely.
All right. And then Community Corner, we have some artist renderings. Now that looks like Elita 1, as she very close to what she looked like in Generation 1, and very close to what she looks like in the War for Cybertron trilogy on Netflix. So I would say that's what that is based on. And then we've got this fella, 4500X. It's a Decepticon.
I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not either, but looks cool.
It does. It's very good artwork.
Yeah. And then somebody, I guess, was a fan of the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3, because they straight up made him a Transformer. They made him a Dinobot.
So does that mean he's going to beat Grimlock in a fight?
No. Spinosaurus Bozo, Grimlock King.
I don't know. If it's anything like Jurassic Park 3, that Spinosaurus is a beast.
Don't get me started. Do not get me started. I will start getting into like what they should have done in Jurassic World to make up for that and all kinds of stuff. Don't get me started. Actually, no, this isn't supposed to be the Spinosaurus. This is Dinobot Scorn from Age of Extinction.
Ah.
Okay, that's who that's meant to be. It's a generation version of it that somebody rendered. That looks really good. Yeah. Regardless of what it's meant to be, it looks really good.
Yes, it does. And very in theme with how the original Dinobots would, like, if it wasn't in the original show, that's what it would have looked like.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so really good.
Yep. And then here's our saga schedule. We are currently in week 2, where combat premium chips are on the line. 500,000 points to complete this event. In the coming weeks, we're going to have a 5-star shard event. We're going to have another event.
To be determined.
That hasn't been announced. Yeah. We have another 20,000 individual totalizer in week 5, and then another leaderboard in week 6.
Boo.
Yeah, we're not nobody's really a big fan
especially
of that.
With the first medic in the game in years. It should be one of them where you get a crystal with a chance, and just the more crystals you get, the more opportunities. Because how long have people been wanting a new medic, and now the 4-star is going to be like locked behind like top 10 probably.
Which, and if I'm being honest, that's probably part of the motivator for doing it in a leaderboard event, because the top play the Prime League players want this medic, because that's gonna completely change how they go into battle, because you've got to have medics when you're in Prime League. So the top players who are always in the top 5, top 10, they're going to be very motivated to shell out the money to get this new bot. So that's probably why they're doing it as a leaderboard event. I mean, it makes financial sense. I can't say I blame them, but for the rest of us, I would really this have been a 1,000,000 point, chance event.
We're gonna get. I mean, almost everybody's gonna get the 3-star, because the amount of points you have to get the shards to get the 3-star isn't really that much. Only the lowest alliances are gonna have an issue.
Right, and even when you don't get the 3-star by being in the top 100, you're still gonna get enough character shards. So
that's what I'm saying. You're guaranteed to get them long before you ever hit the top 100. That's why I still to this day don't understand why the 3-star is even in the top 100.
Yeah, I know.
You're guaranteed him before you get there. There's no point.
No, you're right. I mean, because for most players, 3 stars are usually 3-star. Now, I still like my 3-star bots, the right ones, but that's because event grinding. I'm not thinking about wars. I'm thinking about grinding those events.
They're not, but the 4-star, we're at the point, though, where the 4-star would still be way more useful to us, though.
It is.
We can get some mileage out of a 3-star, but the 4-star would be on one of our top teams, where the 3-star is going to be stuck somewhere near the bottom if we even bother to try.
No, you're right. I mean, especially when I've only got 2 squads that can event grind in zone 14, and the rest of them are still stuck in zone 13 if armed with a combiner. So, you're right. You're right. All right, and a few bug fixes and improvements, and the first one, this peeved me.
Oh, again? They did it. They messed with it again?
Yes. I saw that, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, there's no way. There's no way. And I messaged Dale, and I was just, hey, just read through the email. Everything looks good. Real quick question. Did they really do this? And he comes back, he's like, yep, it's 5+4 now. And I'm like, why? So while we're on that, let's go ahead and get our rants out of it. 6+2 was fair.
Yeah.
That is too expensive. 5+4 is too expensive, because by the time you've used it, like on your 4th try, it's going to cost you 17 ability points.
That brings you back to where he was the weekend of the leaderboard, where it's like, what is the point? Because his ability is too expensive.
It is too expensive.
And then when we found out that they had lowered it, it was like, okay, now this bot's useful. We're going to start leveling him. Now that we both started leveling him, now he's back to being, what's the point again?
Yeah. I leveled him. I've got him to 50. I leveled his ability to 3. I've got a maxed out silver enhanced ordnance core on him that I put cores into leveling. And now this.
Yeah, nah.
I'm upset. You can't see it.
I understand they're trying to get it right, but they keep, like, you can't continuously tinker like that. You gotta, it's either his ability is going to be expensive and that's the way he is, or it's going to be more reasonable. I thought the 6+2 put it more in like a mid range that made it seem more, because the abilities, I understand being expensive, jazzes, because you don't want people to be able to spam that constantly. And Star Savers, if you made his cheaper, you would break the game. Those make sense to be that expensive, but I don't think Shattered Glass JetFire his ability is that overpowered.
It's not.
Where it needs to be ridiculously expensive.
It's not.
It's still just a one-shot that also draws aerial defenses away from your other aerial bots or from him.
Yeah, and if you watch some of SunStreaker Wozza's live streams and rating bots in the past, he'll be the first one to tell you that nobody really even uses anti-air right now, because air bots are just, they're not really in the current meta, which is part of the reason why I still spam them, because I know no one's really defending against it,
Yeah.
But 5+4 for just another one-shotter. Because at the end of the day, that's all he is. He's just a one-shotter who has a slightly more powerful ability than the other ones. It's too expensive.
It just drops him down the list again. Like, he went from being, I would say, when the ability was cheaper, I'd have put him middle to middle high of the aerial bots. And you make it expensive like that, he goes straight down to the ones that are not that great.
Yeah, I mean, I was seriously considering hunting him as a 4-star and then potentially putting him on my A squad or at least the B squad. But now that his ability is as expensive as it is, again, I'm not gonna hunt his 4-star. I'm gonna hope I don't get his 5-star.
He's basically like almost like an aerial equivalent of Jazz or Star Saber, almost, to where you're only gonna fire him off once or twice and that's it.
And I don't use Star Saber and I don't use Jazz for that very reason. They are both at level 40, and I don't even grind events with them. They're just in the land of misfit toys.
The one thing is, you could hit his more than you could hit their abilities, but their abilities are gonna wipe out way more than his anyway.
Right.
One hit of theirs is going to do triple to quadruple what his is going to do. So it just makes him not a very good bot when you increase the cost.
No, it should have been left at 6+2, but I would concede if they did 5+3, because that's what Skydive's ability used to cost before they lowered it to 4+3.
I would accept 5+3. It's just 4, it's getting too expensive too fast.
It is.
You can only take out one defense with it at a time. Like, I think expensive abilities should be the ones that take out multiple defenses with one use.
Yeah, and he's still, like, he's potentially one of the most powerful one-shotters in the game if you take away, like, Skydive, whose ability is more of a slow burn. So if they've got and this is the point I made in my last video, if you use his ability on a defense that has a rejuve core on it or a vitality core maybe not, but like a rejuve core, it's not going to work. It's going to regenerate health while that acid's trying to burn it, and it's not going to work. So for something like that, you need the most powerful one-shotter in the game, and that potentially was this new Jetfire. But even with where he's at as a 5-star maxed out with an enhanced ordnance core on him, and Wozza showcased this, still can't one-shot an MDS in Prime League Hard. Still can't do it. Now, for event grinding, zone 14, potentially zone 15, I'm sure he'd be like pick of the batch. But not with the ability at 5+4.
Yeah, no.
So, I've got his 3-star leveled up now prior to this happening. I'll put him in one of my bottom event grinding squads, and that's where he's going to stay. I'm not going to hunt for his 4-star, and unless the 5-star batch has somebody in it that I'm like, I've got to have that bot, I'm not going to pull from batch 10.
Yeah.
Because
I get that, people complain and they want to fix things, but people are always going to complain, and at some point you just have to stick to your gun and be like, no, this is what he is. You can't constantly tinker like this.
No, you're right. It's like kind of a make up your mind scenario.
If you give in every time somebody complains, you're going to be flip flopping everything in the game constantly. It's like you gotta sit back objectively, pick what's best for the game, and roll with it. People will complain a little bit, but they'll accept it in the end.
Yeah. This is what I think, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. Lower it to 5+3. You still won't make everybody happy, but it will be right. And that's what's most important when you're trying to balance these things, is making sure it's right. And to me, 5+3 is right. 6+2 I preferred, but 5+3 is pretty close. That would be right. So that's where I think it should be, and that's the last thing I'm going to say about that.
I concur.
All right. And that, ladies and gentlemen, extensively, was the news.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the news, and definitely some strong opinions from us on the old Shattered Glass JetFire, but that's been par for the course since his introduction. So, I mean, if it's not us, it's somebody else with a strong opinion. That bot has just been all kinds of headaches for everybody. So, I'm sure SpaceApe wishes they'd have never invented him.
Yeah, to quote Wozza, Shattered Glass JetFire has caused a big controversy.
Yeah.
For the record, that's the Wozza, if you're watching for the first time, that's the first time I'd ever heard that word. I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely something. But let's go ahead and move on into the mailbag, DJ. So I'll let you take it from here and see what the comments are saying.
Alrighty. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in the mailbag, and of course we had this arranged newest first. So our last comment comes from a new commenter. I don't recall seeing this name before. Fear Anarchy. Just started this game about a week ago. I am a con player, and this was helpful to hear the expectations for F2P. All right, well, hey, welcome to the game. Good luck with the cons, and thank you so very much for tuning into the podcast. We really appreciate it.
And any questions you have about the game, feel free to ask them in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer them. I mean,
yep,
we love helping people out. So
yep. And, of course, SunStreaker Wozza and Grind Time are both good dudes to ask questions about as well. They're both tippy-top players. So if we can't answer your question, or if we can't answer it correctly, rest assured they probably can.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty. And our next comment comes from Bossman6774. Says, great show as always, especially with Wozza. Congrats, Frankster, on pulling 5-star sea spray. So he saw your Crystal Kraken. as Frankie celebrates in outer space.
Yes.
Alrighty. And our next comment comes from I Will Find Him. And he says, I will find him. Congratulations. You found us.
Oh, you've become a meme, DJ.
Thank you. Well, it ain't me, it's Pollock. All right. And our next comment comes from Matt Polly. And I think this is his first time commenting with us. He's a regular on Wozza's stream. So welcome, Matt. Says, I am F2P as well. During leaderboard, I hit new personal best of 39,755 points. That's pretty good, dude. That's like 7,000 more than I'm able to hit at my best. So,
yeah.
My hat's off to you. Not that I wear a hat, but, I had the same thoughts as you for wars when I wasn't into them. However, I got into them more and progressed through the leagues. The rewards got much better. Now I'm getting 100k spark extra per week on top event prizes. It's worth in higher leagues, so don't rule it out. And you know what? He's not wrong because...
No, he's not.
Yeah, because
the problem is when you're lower level, the rewards aren't worth it. Once the rewards are worth it, I'll be way more into it. That's just the thing before.
Yeah, because currently we're in... What league are we in?
Platinum
League, yeah. So currently Frankie and I's alliance, Cybercore Alpha... Wars in Platinum League, so it's like 14,000 spark, I think,
something like that.
Yeah.
It's not
great.
Not very much.
Now, granted, if our alliance warred 7 days a week, it would add up pretty quick, but we don't. And the reason we don't is because our commanders understand that the game is very busy. We have to do PvP for our Titan XP. We have Titan. Yeah, we have Cyber Pass. We have. Titan Assault, so we can get that Titan Spark. We have Elimination Mode, and we have Raids. So the game is very, very busy, and a lot of us, like for me and Frankie, especially me, I only have 2 squads that I will take into a war. And,
I only have 1.
And then I've only got 2 combiners that I'll take into a war. And actually, now that I've got 5-star Omega, I'll only take him in there because I want him to give me the best shot. Unless we just happen to go into a war and the first base is like, what's this guy doing here? And then I'll just knock him out, without breaking a sweat. But typically, it takes everything I've got to beat those first few bases, and then I can't even beat base 4 or 5. So we don't war every day. We're not there yet. But once we get there, we're strong enough, then, dude, Matt's right. It will become worth it to start warring every day as long as we're at that level. It's just going to take time.
Yeah. Well, you got to be in alliance that's in the higher leagues. I mean, when you're in the lower leagues, the way I look at it is I try to weigh like importance by what you get out of it. And in the lower war leagues, you don't get enough out of war to where it feels like, putting all your effort into it would be wasting a lot of potential of better things you could get to better yourself in the other game modes.
Well, think of it this way. So I just pulled up my calculator just for the sake of checking. So let's say we are getting 14,000 spark for every war victory. If we win 5 wars a week, well, that's 70,000 spark right there. That's not bad. I mean, that as for where we're at and for what we need to level our bots, that's not chump change. So I can
It's
see
not.
the value in it. It's just that it's too difficult right now, you know?
And I always have over 1 million spark anyway. I've never, never,
Yeah,
I haven't got below 1 million spark in years.
I sink my spark into everything I get, just about. So
Yeah.
anyway, but Matt, thank you for your comment, man. We appreciate you and hope to see you on the podcast again soon. Our next comment comes from Volcanica69. Pair swoop with Rust Dust and Tiger Hawk. I call them the Deadly Trio. Very devastating. I use them in 7500 zone just by themselves. Dude, it's like that's actually very similar to something I do. I will pair swoop, Tiger Hawk, and double dealer, and I have all three of them up in the sky, doing like that. But pairing them with Rust Dust wouldn't be a bad idea. Or Trailbreaker, not Trailbreaker,
Afterbreaker.
Afterbreaker. Pairing them with those three with Afterbreaker, and then maybe throw an Inferno in that mix. That would be bad. That would be mean. So, and
Just
then,
hope for whoever you attack, I hope their base isn't clustered together.
yeah, because the whole base is just it's done. It's on
Just
fire.
do each attack slightly off center of the other, so that it's just covering everything.
So yeah, but yeah, Volcanicus, I do something similar, man. That's not a bad idea. Our next comment comes from William Edward Hackman. He says, I play Transformers Earth Wars on my tablet, but there's also another mobile game that I play on my tablet as well, which are Transformers Forged to Fight, Angry Birds Transformers, and Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I actually, see, I've never played any of those games. I'm familiar with all of them. I've never played them, and that's just because I work 45 to 50 hours a week. And then what time not spent at work is time working on stuff like this. And when I'm not doing this, I'm asleep. So I don't have time to do those other games. Otherwise, I would, because I would like to get into them.
If they make a mobile Power Rangers game that's not a fighting game, I will be there like day
if it's
one.
like Earth Wars, dude, I'll just quit playing Earth Wars and I'll just play that all the time. That's like, look,
I wouldn't quit Earth Wars, but I would definitely be there day one. Also, there's actually a Godzilla game I've seen advertisements for mobile-wise that looks amazing, and I'm seriously considering giving it a try.
Yeah, but no, dude, if there is one franchise that I will say top of takes priority of everything I'm into, and I'm into Transformers, I'm into Star Trek and Star Wars and G.I. Joe and just all kinds of stuff. The one that takes the cake, the one that takes priority over all of them, is Power Rangers. So if they came up with a Power Rangers mobile game and they did it right, they did it Earth War style,
I don't even know how you would do that.
How they would do an Earth War style Power Ranger game?
Yeah.
Just similarly. So so instead of a Transformer going out to the field, it would be a Power Ranger, and then the combiner would be the Zords.
Okay, I kind of get that now that you've worded it that way. I got you.
Yeah, it would be very similar, and then there's a ton of Rangers to collect and pair up. It would be really cool if they did it. SpaceApe, hunt for that licensing. Power Rangers mobile game in the same vein as Earth Wars. I'm counting on you.
Or if nothing else, do a crossover where we get a Megazord that's a combiner in Earth Wars.
There you go. Yeah, I'll settle for
Please.
that. Alrighty, our next comment comes from TFEW Dude 2016. Great show, guys. One small comment on wars. I know both of you hate wars. I won't say I hate wars, I'm just not big on it at this particular point in time. But I strongly suggest doing wars more often. Enroll in a war daily, but only require mandatory participation on days that you will outline in Alliance description. You can get some cheap war wins in lower leagues if opponent isn't paying attention to base 1, base 2, or super easy. Yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot of the times you will find that. And like I said, we do want to try to do more wars more often. It's just that we don't have enough bot power between the two of us to take out an entire base unless it just happens to be like a lower tier base, like maybe they just broke into platinum, And typically
let me get Sea Spray maxed out, and then you'll see some war scores from me.
Yeah. Let me get my A and B squads maxed out, and you'll see some scores for me. Because like I said, I've only got 2 squads that can I hold their own in wars, and once I get to base 4 or 5, typically base 4, I'm out. It's like my combiner, my squad. I'll get this close, but not close enough. And our next comment comes from an individual whose name I will not be able to pronounce, so I'm not going to try for fear of slaughtering it. But his comment is, I'm confused. How to keep your lab busy but not upgrade your bots above 50 except one team. I have been playing 3 to 5 years, or 3.5 years. Even my free-to-play account, most of my 4 stars are 50 going on 60. I have lots of 50 plus 3 stars too, for no other reason than to keep the research lab busy. So that's basically directed at me, and it's because I don't want to. Simple. It's like, so I have I mentioned in the last episode of the podcast, I have attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So that causes a bunch of other little quirks and stuff that guys with my condition have to deal with. And one of the things that I have is this OCD about having things just organized and right. So I leveled my A squad above 50 because I felt that it was built well enough that it was worth going ahead and bringing them up there, and then there weren't any other bots that I was going to be adding to it at all in the future. Like, I thought I had my squad. Well, now there are a few bots that I need to add to my squad, because now we have 5-star Skylinks, we have 5-star Pipes. They introduced a new aerial bot, Shattered Glass JetFire, who, while his ability is too expensive, is very, very powerful. And if I ever got my hands on that, that could potentially become an A squad bot. But I like to spam my aerial bot, so probably not. But so I'm not leveling my bots to 50, above 50, because I need these new bots that I'm hunting to take their roles in like the B squad, the C squad, the C squad, and just keep flowing it down and making each squad stronger as I put a new bot somewhere higher in the chain there. And if I level a squad above 50, well, now it's kind of, it feels like a mess, because now if let's say I upgraded my B squad to above 50 and then I got Pipes. Well, Pipes I'm planning to put him on the B squad until I get it leveled. But if I can't put it on the B squad, because the B squad, now I got to put him on the C squad. You know? So I sound ridiculous. I know I sound ridiculous. Everything I'm saying sounds absurd to everybody else who's watching, and I understand. I get it. I don't blame you for thinking, what's he on about? I get it. But it's just this weird OCD thing that I have where it's like I cannot bring myself to make it feel messy. And if I leveled all my bots like that, just constantly level it would feel messy. So I just can't bring myself to do it. So
it drives me nuts to have multiple ones that need research and I can't do them all. Like, it bugs me to see that above, especially my 4 stars. Because right now I have like 3 weeks worth of them. Like, total, if I throw them all in, it would take 3 weeks to get them all done. And it bugs the crap out of me that they're missing out on XP.
Yeah. So I have fun with the game the way I play it. Does it hold me back a little bit? Maybe. But I'm enjoying the game the way it is and the way I play it. So I don't let that bother me. But I do get it, because for a lot of people, that's like, oh my god, level some bots. I get it. Everybody, it's like, I get it. Anyway, all right, and our next comment comes from John J. Pollock!
I will find him!
And he says, great to see SunStreaker Wozza on the show this week. Glad you guys got get him on. With that said, with this Zen farming video in mind, do you two have Zen farming approach you like to use? I have a schedule that on Tuesdays I will use all my 3 to 5 star bots, both factions, and grind until they're done. Currently I'm still sitting at almost 3 million Zen. That way when the time comes for me to use it, it's already there. Dude, if it's working for you, and because you've got more Zen than I do. I've got like 2.5, and that's just because I haven't had to use any in forever. Because the last time I leveled a bot to their level 11 ability, I used the ability upgrade skip from the last Cyber Pass. So, and I'm going to do it again this go around, so I'm still not going to use any. That's the only reason I've got as much as I do. Typically, I use it. But all I do is very similar to what you do. I get my alt faction bots out of the way first, and then the ones that are leveled anyway. The ones that aren't leveled, it's not worth doing. And then I get my top of the line squads, all the squads that I use for event grinding. I get them all knocked out. I make sure they have a combiner with them, and I get anywhere from 15 to at least 4,000 or 10,000 Z Energon, or Z Energon if you're Canadian or in the UK or in Europe. But then what I'll do is I'll start waiting until I have a charged combiner that I know could potentially solo Zone 12 on his own. And then I'll go down to my 1-star bots. And I'll just start getting one warrior from 1 stars, 2 stars, 3 stars, and I'll just keep doing that. I'll get one warrior bot. I'll spam them across the base to pop all the outpost bots. And then I'll just take my combiner, clean house, and then I'll send all the bots on my squad to go and take out the HQ. I just start with the 1 stars and work my way up. That way, I'm guaranteed to get 4,000 Zen Energon every single time, after I've used my top tier teams that are getting me like 10 to 15,000. That's how I do it. But as busy as the game is and as strenuous as my work schedule is, I don't always get all my bots used up. I haven't in quite some time. But in a perfect world, if I had more time on my schedule, I would do that all the way up till I had no bots left. And the only reason I do that for my alt faction is because combiner's not available. So, what do you think, Frankie? What's your strategy?
Lately it's been Magnaboss and just like wiping out every defense and then sending out just enough bots to blow up the HQ, and then just try to do that as much as possible. I mean, the weeks I'm not busy, which it's been a few weeks since I've been able to go through every single bot. I was literally doing a team of 1 stars at Zone 13, let Magnaboss wipe out every defense. Like, I would send a bot with a rush ability to pop the outpost real quick, just let that bot die, launch Magnaboss, wipe every defense off the map, and then just let the team go ham on the HQ.
Yep, that's exactly what I do.
Yeah, now sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes the HQ is like, because I try to do it where you get 10,000 each battle, Zone 13.
Yeah.
Because I know Magnaboss can wipe out all defenses at that. But sometimes the HQ has a defense on it that can kill the 1 stars, unfortunately, and it basically wastes a turn. But sometimes it works. And if you can get 10,000 Z Energon with 1 stars, that feels pretty good.
Yeah, but I know that can happen. Sometimes you go in Zone 13 and they'll have like an HQ 16 out there that has a HQ defense on it, like the flame or the beam laser.
Flame or the laser beam. Right. Yeah, it'll happen every once in a while.
Yeah, so I stick to Zone 12. Unless I got a squad of 2 stars at 40, it's not strong enough to take all of them out. But if it's the 1 stars, and it's only a handful of them, Zone 12 at the most.
I just, like I said, if I have Magnaboss, and then usually what I'll do is I'll wait till I need Magnaboss for a battle somewhere else, like say a war. I only have 1 war team, so I do 1 battle, and then if I activate him for the next one, I'm going to have to wait till everybody's ready anyway. So I'll use him the war battle and then jump in elimination mode and waste, the rest of the time he's active doing that.
Yep.
So I'm multitasking with him. So
there you go. All right. So I hope that answers your question, John. If not, ask again. We'll make a whole topic out of it. So, all right. Our next 2 comments come from Lord Avix. In my alliance, times 40 Decepticon, we war every day. Exception is leaderboards. No war on Saturday or on Sundays, and we were Cam Cyber Alliance. Okay, so we got a pretty strong war schedule there. And then his next comment is, the thing is, when you war constantly, it's extra XP for your bots and Titans. No, he's not wrong about that. You do get more XP for your bots and your Titans in war than you do just regular PvP.
You do.
But
to be fair, though, you get your Titan XP now doing the Cyber Pass challenges until you beat them, though, because you have to do so many battles anyway.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I do get it. It is extra XP. I'm not saying war is completely worthless. It's just, well, like I said, when you have a million things to do in the game, I try to prioritize them by what gives me the most.
Right, and events is what gives you the most, which is why that's always been our priority. But And like I said, the only reason I don't do more in wars than I do is because I've only got the 2 squads that can war at that level. I've only got 1 combiner that I'll take into war at this level. And like I said, we get to base 4 or 5, and I'm toast. So, all right. And our last comment is again William Edward Hackman. My birthday is March 28th. I'll be 28 years old. Well, buddy, happy early birthday to you. You actually share a birthday with my sister. Her birthday is that same day. She's 2 years younger than I am. So happy early birthday to you, and many happy returns. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the mailbag segment.
All right, well, that leads us into our main topic this week, which is base development. And this should be pretty interesting, DJ. The question was asked on last week's mailbag, and it was basically, how do we recommend doing it? Should he level the HQ as fast as possible, or should he level all defenses equally with the HQ? And I think we had different approaches on how we did this. I know I made the mistake, I guess it's a mistake, of leveling the HQ to 17 as fast as possible. And then the only things I really kept up with it were the harvesters and the we started a war. The harvesters and the right here, the storage for Energon and Alloy, which I still haven't maxed out all of that quite yet. But what approach did you take when you built your base? You go everything at the same level?
No, I kind of did the same thing that you've done. I focused on getting my HQ maxed up all the way so that I could take advantage of things that you could only take advantage of with a certain level HQ. Of course, once you get to a certain point, you can't just level the HQ. You first have to level the coffers that hold your resources, because otherwise you can't hold enough to actually have what you need to upgrade your base. So I would have to upgrade the resource gathering equipment and the coffers that hold it, and then I'd go back to leveling the HQ. And then
there are pros and cons to this approach.
Yeah, but that's what I did too, just because the HQ is the thing that unlocks certain things for you. For example, once you get to HQ 8, I think it is, you unlock the alt faction bots. And then if you haven't unlocked all the 1-star bots yet, just by playing through the game, that will unlock all the 1-star bots for you for both factions. So.
Yep. The thing is, now I'm kind of way behind. I'm HQ, maxed out 17, but my defenses are all over the place, and it is taking forever. You see right here, 11 days. I mean, it's taking me forever to get caught back up with other HQ 17 players, which is why I say there's an up and a down. The up is, though, you develop your bots way faster. Like, if you just focus on the HQ, the resource gathering, and the storage for the resources, you will get all kinds of stuff. Like, you'll get to the combiner lab and all that way faster, really.
You will, and you'll get your lab upgraded faster, too, because that's another reason I did that, so I could upgrade the lab so I could get my bots leveled beyond certain points, because you're held back until you upgrade your lab at certain points. So
you are, it's like there's an up and a down. And just know, when you finally get HQ maxed and all those resources maxed, defensively you're going to get owned in a war.
Oh yeah,
for a minute until you get leveled up. And I didn't fully abandon the defenses. I mean, I would level them a little bit at a time. I just made the priority the storage here and of course the actual harvesters themselves. And then as soon as I was able, HQ each time to get it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my base is not exactly the world's greatest base. I definitely feel like it's very outdated if it was ever actually in style.
Yeah, it's not fantastic, but
I have good coverage if you look in edit mode here. I mean, there's a kill box the whole middle of the map.
Yeah, the only thing is most of your defenses, though, are not strong enough to repel most attackers. You know,
They're not. I'm
and
working
you've
on
got
it.
a lot
Like I
of things
said,
that are clumped together. Like all of these autocannons are clumped together. Um,
yes.
your this right here by the HQ, the outpost bots. That's your strongest point right there. That's the part
Yeah.
that's going to give them the hardest time.
The whole strategy was I put the stasis mines at the engine points. The bots are going to naturally try to go around the wall, especially if they launch them in the corners.
Right.
So my thinking was stasis mine, let the defenses hit them while they're frozen. They'll lose some health. They'll battle through all this while getting hit in the kill box in the middle. So that by the time they got to here, they would be weak enough that when the outpost bots and the combiner pop, they're going to get beat, hopefully. And it worked for a while. It's not working very much anymore. I don't even know if I've completed the win battle on defense yet.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, I have. I actually did. I'm shocked.
Yeah, I won one too, so I accomplished that one. I'm actually trying to get the
Yeah.
game pulled up right now. What I'm gonna do? See, I don't have the ability to screen share my phone with the viewers the way Frankie does because my phone being Android and my computer being Mac. Uh, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a screenshot of my base and I'm going to use it. I'm going to upload that and use that as an image, and just so you guys can see my base.
I feel like bases now need to be less symmetrical because you've got the Titan that's always going to be like over here, on the right hand side. That's going to be waylaying whatever's over here. I feel like it'd be better to put resource buildings here and defenses maybe off to the left now, almost.
I disagree. So first of all, don't tell that to Wozza because he's all about some symmetry. However, what I've done, and I'll show you, I think the buildings on your base with the most health are your coffers, the buildings that house your resources. And while we don't want to give those up, to me, it's better to line the side of your base where the Titan's going to be at with those because it's going to take him longer to eat through those, and they'll attract his attention, which will keep him from shooting directly at your HQ or your defense bots or whatever the case might be. So it's kind of a distraction, and they'll last longer. And then you just put all the weaker things more to the left side of the base. So that's kind of the approach that I took. So
yeah, I was gonna say you need cannon fodder for the Titan, and then because I've noticed with my Titan, a lot of times I've hit a bunch of bases where the rocket launcher's right down here where the Titan's at. It'll be the first thing he hits, and I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
So you definitely don't want anything of importance defensively anywhere near where that Titan starts.
No, because you don't want. That's another reason I say put your resource coffers up there near him, so he'll target those. Don't put your defenses in a position where he'll target those on his own. Make the player have to do that for him, because they won't always catch it. So,
I think. Now the HQ should be you think I should leave it all the way in the back, or you think I should move it over here and move the shield generator all the way to the furthest back?
That's what I did. I put my shield generator.
That's what I was thinking, because if the shield generator is harder to get to, I feel like that will help me in the long run.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of editing here while we talk. But yeah, defenses though they're interesting. It's never been my strong suit. Half the time I messed with mine, I would usually ask you what you thought, because you're definitely better at building a base defense wise than I am.
Not that it's amounted to anything.
It's not, but I have a more offensive mindset than defensive. I really do.
All right. I just emailed you a picture of my base, Frankie.
Okay.
To your Yahoo.
Oh God. I don't even know if I remember how to get into that.
Should I have sent it to your Gmail?
Yes, or you could do it Discord either way, because
Why? Yeah, of course I can do it Discord. Why did I go to email? What is this, 2001? Oh.
hold on, I'm working on this. So you're saying like the alloy storage and all that, put that over here?
That's what I would do. I've got it all. You see where you've got your coffers at now?
Yeah,
That's where I've got all of mine. I've got mine over there to grab his attention.
got you.
So,
Let me open. Oh, no, that's
gotcha.
already open. All
And
right,
while the
I'm trying-
Frankster edits his base, I have recently become aware that we have one more comment from our mailbag segment, so I'm going to take us there now. Our final comment comes from the Dreams of Moonbeams. I like that. The Dreams of Moonbeams, and her comment is, the arrow DJ Hart is hot. Hawt with a flame next to it.
Well, there you go. You have a fan, sir.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the mailbag segment. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So while the Frankster is working on his base, I'll go ahead and show you mine. This is just a screenshot of it. But if you look here, and Wozza, here's your opportunity to rinse me. But if you look here, so I've got a good cluster of defenses down here at the bottom. These two anti-air lasers have the reflecting cores on them, so they're bouncing damage from bot to bot. And then, of course, I have all my autocannons lined up here. I have my two shock towers here, and they both have the thunderstorm core on them, which causes EMP for a minute. I have my rocket launchers all here at the top. These two anti-air lasers are for anti-air. And then I have the spider mines here, 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 and here across there. Then I have two stasis mines on either side. There's no cores on those. Those are meant to freeze you in place. And then here and here, my build bots are anti-hack. And then we get into here. You see I've got all my coffers up here. Everything that houses my resources, it's where the most health is. So I've got that up there to attract this Titan's attention so that he tries to burn through that. All my weaker ones over here. And then it's hard to see because I got these bloody notifications. But I got beam laser here and the equivalent side over here. All my outpost bots all around the HQ. Combiner right here in the middle. Shield generator back in the back. And I've done my absolute best to keep all of my high value targets out of range until they're already way up the base. So the space bridge, the combiner lab, the lab itself, the power core lab, all of those things. So, and then here and here, those stasis mines are equipped with glass gas, and then this build bot, and there's another build bot right here have healing cores on them. So that is how I've constructed my base. I'm trying to, there we go. And it is successful 50% of the time. It's an old school way of doing it, time trap up front, and then up top, everything that's super deadly, So even if they do get past the bottom, by the time they get to the top, theoretically, they should be out. But I usually get attacked by pretty top-level players, and they usually have a combiner that's as strong, they usually have a Titan that is as strong, or if not stronger than mine is. So, but that be my base. So while Frankie builds his base back up, back to kind of what the original question was, is how to go about leveling your base.
Yes.
Me and him did it the same way. We leveled our HQ to the moon, and then we worried about everything else later. That will help you unlock certain things a lot earlier, but it will leave you susceptible to attack by higher level players once you're there. If you're not concerned about that, then go for it. Unlock those extra bots, unlock those extra labs, unlock all of it. It'll help you progress your bots a lot faster. It's just going to be more difficult for you to hoard resources unless you're scoring well enough in events that you can hoard a bunch of resources that you get from those events in your inventory. But if you want to play it safe and you want to make sure you have a well-rounded base that is well defended at the level that you're currently at, then do everything evenly. Upgrade the HQ, then upgrade the resources, then upgrade the defenses, then upgrade the walls. Do all of that if you want to stay fairly well defended for your current level. But for me and Frankie, it was worth it to just shoot to the moon with the HQ, worry about everything else later. And the only reason I'm maxed out, whereas Frankie is not, is because I got a head start.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, you'll definitely. I think you'll appreciate your defense and war a lot better if you do it the slow, steady way. But you'll be stronger as far as the attack side if you do it the way we did it. So.
Right. You'll get access to more bots. You'll get access to upgrade those bots. Combiners become available at a certain point. So,
yeah.
Which really, all you got to do for that is just beat the campaign mission that unlocks the Combiner Lab. But you still
you'll feel like you're progressing through the game a lot faster until you hit the wall of, well, now I suck at defending on war, and you have to put the time into leveling it. So.
Right. But by then, and with all the resources we get from events nowadays, it should be very easy for you to hoard enough resources. You just always have something being upgraded. So.
Yep.
But that's our take on it, on your bases, how you should level them, how you should level them. You saw how my base is arranged. It's not the best. I've not done a good job at taking advantage of pathing. At least I don't think I have. But I'm
my
not
base
really.
Is a mess, so.
Yeah, yours needs a little wax, you know.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Figure something out.
So.
All right. Well, next week's episode, though, because I feel like we pretty much answered the question pretty good. Got my base all tore up right now, but that's okay. When you watch my weekend videos, you'll see my new base. So hopefully you'll be like, yeah, you did a great job. Or you'll be like, oh my God, what have you done? It's even worse than before. Either way it goes, it should be fun. But next week is going to be fun. We're going to rank the gunner bots in the game. We've done a few of these before. We got a little bit better technology this time. So I'm hoping it'll be, I'm excited for how it's going to look and everything.
Yep.
But yeah, we're going to rank them. The gunners, they kind of remind me of Action Star. So, we're going to rank them from in Action Star ranks. So you've got from Chuck Norris to Steven Seagal.
And then everything in between.
Everything in between. So you got your Arnolds, your Stallones, and, Bruce Willis somewhere near the bottom because all he does is video on demand terribleness.
Nowadays, but he's still, he's still John McClane.
This man at the Razzies this year had his own category. It was an entire category that was worst Bruce Willis movie.
Okay.
Yes,
so
that's how bad it's gotten.
Okay.
He's literally making movies now where you can see the earpiece in his ear where they're feeding him his lines because he don't even take the time to memorize them anymore. Wow. You can see it in the movie, the earpiece.
I wanted to give him more credit because, John McClane and such.
No, he was one of the big three. It was Arnold, Stallone, and Willis.
Yeah.
They were the big three.
Yeah.
And his great action movies are up there, but he is seriously tarnishing his legacy with just not even caring anymore.
I hate that. All right, well then, yeah. So our ranking system will be Chuck Norris, and then what's going to be number 2? Schwarzenegger or Stallone?
Arnold. Chuck Norris, Arnold, Stallone, Willis, and Seagal. Now, so we're going to take them and we're going to put them in there. And it's going to be fun. I'm sure DJ will throw a lot of action movie one-liners quotes in there in the editing. So I'm excited for this episode. So definitely check that out. Definitely check out my daily videos. My Gunner Squad I'm going to show off to probably today as you're watching this on Friday, whenever you see this. So definitely check that out. You'll see my new base too. Hopefully I don't make too much of a mess. And definitely check out DJ's Crystal Kraken on Monday because he may get a 5-star finally. He's like I was for a few weeks there. He's right on the edge, just needs a few dupes. So definitely check that out. Going to be really exciting. And we will see y'all then. Same bot time, same bot channel. Frankster out.